Hello, my name is Ricardo Favela. I am a recent graduate from the Latin American Studies program at UCSD. My thesis is based on racial formation in Fallbrook between 1970 to 1990, and it is a microhistory of what transpired during those decades. This thesis looks at how there was a crystallization of white supremacy and political whiteness during these decades. Fallbrook was known at that time as being the epicenter of the white power movement in the state of California. And so my research looks at how this took place and how racial formation occurred amongst the white community and Mexican workers in this area. The research reveals that San Diego has its own racial history that is uniquely anti-Mexican. And this racial history produced some of the nation's most articulate spokespersons for whiteness and white supremacy in the form of Tom Metzger. Again, I don't look at Tom Metzger in terms of his biography or his life story, but more so what produced someone to become a Tom Metzger in San Diego. He was not the only one. There were many others. He found a base of support in San Diego. The 1980s was a decade of increasing violence. As Tom Metzger and the white Aryan resistance was forming and growing, incidents of violence was increasing throughout not just Fallbrook, but in surrounding communities and also in the border region. The violence was so alarming that the state of California held a legislative hearing at the border in San Ysidro in 1988. And in particular, there was a lot of concern of reports of violence in the North County from human rights activists and lawyers in San Diego. This time period really helped lay the grounds for the 1990s for anti-Mexican, anti-immigrant propositions like Prop 187 to be well received by voters and passed by a majority of voters in the 1990s. So my research puts into conversation the events that happened during this time with academics who study white supremacy and who study the racial formation of Mexican people, of ethnic Mexicans in California. The reason I look at Fallbrook is because at that time the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan lived in Fallbrook and based his operations out of Fallbrook. So his vision of what a white society or white community should be was being carried out in Fallbrook. And it was part of his program included a program of violence as well. So this was something that I looked at based on the archives of the organization there, the White Aryan Resistance, and I also looked at the archives in the Fallbrook Historical Society's museum. I also spoke with residents of Fallbrook, in particular Mexican residents in Fallbrook, who participated in different organizations who responded to the conditions during that time. And I also include some of my own testimony based on some of the events that might have happened during that time. So it's a mix of different approaches, different methodologies to put together a story, a microhistory of what transpired there.